The Labrador Retriever, a name you've probably heard 1,000 times, but do you really know where it came from? Or how this powerful, playful, and loyal, forgiving work? They needed help, not from machines, but from dogs. That's where the St. John's water dog came in, a smaller, sturdy, short-coated dog developed by local fishermen. These dogs were powerful swimmers, smart, eager to please, and incredibly reliable. They would jump into icy waters to retrieve nets, haul fish, or even chase off seabirds. They weren't pampered pets, they were workers, partners, family. You see, we often romanticize dogs today as companions, but back then dogs earned their keep. And the St. John's dog did exactly that, so well in fact that its legacy would stretch far beyond Canadian shores. How the Labrador got its name. Here's where things get a little ironic. The dog we call the Labrador wasn't originally from Labrador. The name is believed to have come from Portuguese fishermen, who often referred to the region they fished in as Labrador, meaning labourer or worker in Portuguese. Fitting, right? British nobles and sportsmen visiting Canada in the early 1800s were impressed by the work ethic of these dogs. They saw how these dogs could retrieve fish, swim tirelessly, and obey commands without fuss. So, naturally, they took a few back home. And that's how the breed's global journey began, not with fame, but with fish. From noble halls to family homes. By the 1830s, Labradors were being selectively bred in England. Wealthy landowners and hunters were especially fond of them. Why? Because these dogs were naturals at retrieving game birds, especially in wet, marshy environments. That's actually what the word retriever refers to, their ability to gently carry game back to their masters without damaging it. In the Victorian era, Labradors weren't yet a standardized breed. They were still being mixed with other retrievers, setters, even spaniels. But even then, certain traits were already being valued. Loyalty, trainability, strong jaws, and love for water. Fast forward to the early 20th century, the breed was finally recognized formally. Kennel clubs began registering Labradors as an official breed, but their working-class roots, still very much alive in their personality. The Labrador almost disappeared. Here's something most people don't know. Labradors nearly vanished from existence. By the late 1800s, Newfoundland introduced strict dog ownership laws. Only one dog per household was allowed, and even then, you had to pay heavy taxes. The reason? Concerns over sheep farming. Meanwhile, in England, the government imposed tough regulations on dog imports to control the spread of disease. As a result, the original St. John's dogs, the Labrador's direct ancestors, began to die out. Luckily, a handful of English breeders preserved the line by crossing them with other retrievers. This is why the modern Labrador looks slightly different from its rugged ancestor, more refined perhaps, but no less capable. A dog built for more than work. There's a reason Labradors are the most popular breed in America, the UK, and parts of Asia. It's not just because they're cute, though they certainly are. Labradors are highly intelligent, exceptionally trainable, kind and gentle with children, great swimmers, natural athletes. But here's the real secret sauce. They want to make you happy. And in a world full of complicated relationships, isn't that refreshing? Personal reflection, the first time I met a lab. Let me pause here and get personal. I remember the first time I saw a Labrador. It was a black male named Shadow, belonging to my uncle in the countryside. I was maybe 8 years old, tiny and nervous around big dogs, but Shadow? He didn't bark, he didn't jump. He walked up to me, wagged his tail, and gently pressed his nose into my hand. It was like he already knew me, like he trusted me. I'd never felt that from an animal before. That moment changed everything. I began researching the breed, reading books, watching documentaries, and eventually raising labs myself. It's no exaggeration to say this dog changed my life. Labradors in modern society, not just a pet. Labradors today are doing much more than fetching sticks. They're service dogs for the blind and disabled. therapy dogs in hospitals and schools, search and rescue dogs in disaster zones, drug detection dogs at airports. Even film stars looking at you, Marley and me. It's as if they. In our last episode, we took a deep dive into the origins of the Labrador Retriever. From the icy shores of Newfoundland to the noble estates of England, this remarkable breed began its journey. But now, the story takes an exciting turn. You see, the Labrador Retriever didn't just stop at being a skilled fisherman's companion or a noble hunting dog. No, this breed changed the world. How, you ask? Well, the Labrador didn't conquer the globe overnight. It took time, a lot of trust, and a willingness to adapt. But by the end of this episode, you'll see why this dog became the most beloved companion in households worldwide. Let's take a closer look at how this humble dog, with its sturdy build and friendly demeanor, earned the title of man's best friend across every continent. The rise of the Labrador in the US, the United States, a land known for its love of big, bold, and loyal dogs, was one of the first countries to embrace the Labrador Retriever fully. But it wasn't just by chance. By the early 20th century, the Labrador was well established in the United States. Its intelligence, versatility, and affable nature made it perfect for American lifestyles, whether on the farm, in the home, or out hunting in the wild. But what really solidified the Labrador as America's most popular dog? The rise of the family dog. Labradors weren't just working dogs anymore, they were becoming part of American families. The breed's ability to adapt to different environments, its patience with children, and its willingness to work alongside humans made it the perfect pet for middle-class families. Why Labradors became the ultimate family dog. Let's talk about why Labradors became the ultimate family dog. Labradors have this unique ability to form bonds with their families, regardless of whether they live in a small city apartment or on a vast rural property. This adaptability made them an ideal companion for the growing suburban households of post-World II America. In addition, their friendly and social nature makes them one of the best dogs for children. Their playful energy, boundless affection, and patience with little ones created a reputation that's hard to beat. Labradors didn't just meet the needs of a family, they exceeded them. What's even more remarkable is the breed's training capability. The Labrador Retriever is one of the easiest breeds to train, thanks to its desire to please. Whether it's learning basic commands or mastering advanced tricks, Labradors pick things up quickly, making them popular in competitions, shows, and even as service dogs. Labradors as working dogs, more than just pets. While Labradors were becoming beloved pets, their roles as working dogs didn't fade away. In fact, many of the world's best Labradors were still being trained for work in areas that required more than just affection. Search and rescue missions, for example, benefited greatly from the Labrador's strong sense of smell and tireless energy. In the 1970s, after the introduction of guide dogs for the blind, Labradors emerged as the top choice for the guide dog industry. Why? Because of their gentle temperament, alertness, and intelligence. Labradors have the ability to stay calm and collected, even in stressful situations. Perfect for assisting individuals with visual impairments. Labradors' influence in popular culture. It wasn't just families and working professionals who fell in love with Labradors. The breed also captured the puppy shows and campaigns, showcasing their personality and versatility. They are often seen as symbols of loyalty, happiness, and unconditional love. The Labrador's global expansion from America to the rest of the world. As the Labrador's popularity skyrocketed in the US, it wasn't long before the breed made its way to the rest of the world. Its incredible versatility and affectionate nature made it a hit in Europe, Australia, and Asia. But the journey to new countries wasn't always smooth. In places like Europe and Australia, Labradors were quickly adopted into urban homes, farms, and even hunting circles. Their reputation as excellent hunters and retrievers transferred over seamlessly. By the 1990s, the Labrador was the most popular dog in the UK, surpassing even the beloved British Bulldog. This was the start of a larger cultural shift, as people realized that the Labrador wasn't just a working dog, it was a companion dog.